Hello, this is NLAC Gaming and Podfix. Today we will be reading a new fanfiction called Izuku, a dragon, but he's quirkless, by Umbra Scripture. Izuku, a dragon, but he's quirkless. Chapter 1. Izuku's quirkless, but why can't I enter his room? I'm sorry to say this, but you're quirkless, the quirk specialist says. Izuku's mom bursts into tears beside him. Quirkless? Looking between his mom and the doctor, tears pool in his wide green eyes. You will never get a quirk. It's just not in your DNA. The quirk continues to explain, but everything around the 4-year-old blurs out so he doesn't hear anything. He can still be a hero, right? Even without a quirk? It's not until hours later, when they finally get home, that Izuku has finally processed that he's been diagnosed with being quirkless. Letting out a sob, he kicks his shoes off and shoves himself away in his bedroom. Staring up at the All Might posters, Izuku promises to himself that he'll become a hero no matter what, just like All Might. Just because he can't breathe fire like his dad, or pull objects towards him like his mom, or set off cool explosions like Kachan can, doesn't mean he can't do it. Izuku? Inko calls out, knocking on Izuku's bedroom door hesitantly. He's never locked himself in his room before. Baby, I'm so sorry. Please talk to me, she begs softly when there's no response. Opening the door, she looks into the room, tears rolling down her cheeks at the sight of her 4-year-old curled up under his blanket, chubby cheeks red from the irritation of crying. She pauses when she sees her son tense up at her entering his room. Izuku, baby, please talk to me. She takes a few more steps into the room, pausing just past the open door at how rigid his back has become. Izu? A weird rumbling escapes Izuku, his eyes pinned on his mother's form, baby teeth bared at her. What? Izuku? Inko questions again, lifting a foot to take another step closer. She immediately puts her foot behind her instead of in front at the animalistic growl Izuku lets out, his lips pulling back to reveal more of his teeth. This isn't like him at all. Is he really that devastated at the diagnosis? I'm sorry, she whispers out to him, hoping he'll respond. Get out! Izuku's words practically hiss out of his mouth, passing between gritted baby teeth. Inko's eyes widen in shock at his tone, completely freezing in place as the sudden feeling of being prey washes over her. Blinking a few times in surprise, Izuku quickly purses his lips together tightly, shaking himself out of the strange protectiveness of his den room. I'm sorry, Mama, Izuku whispers, hunching in on himself as fresh tears roll down his cheeks at seeing the fear in his mom's eyes. Can I still be a hero, even if I don't have a quirk? He asks. Inko lets out a sob at her son's words, but she doesn't dare step further into his room, the urge to comfort her son and the primal instinct to escape warring within herself. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. She sobs out instead, trembling where she stands, covering her mouth to try and muffle the sobs at her son's words. Inko is so scared. Her instincts are saying it's because of how animalistic Izuku was being just then, but her heart, oh, her poor, bleeding heart, is scared for her son. The danger he'd be in if he became a hero without a quirk. She doesn't think she could take him putting himself in such danger. Being a hero is too dangerous for her baby boy, even with his unusual behavior just before. Oh, Izuku whispers out in response, closing his eyes and dropping his head in defeat, causing Inko's heart to break, realizing how damning her words were. Before she can explain more, she sees his eyes harden, his heart strengthening, his desire to be a hero overwhelming him. "Please don't come into my room. I don't like it," he mumbles out. Nodding, Inko leaves his room in a daze, shutting the door behind herself softly. "He's just processing the diagnosis," she tries to convince herself. "I shouldn't enter his room without permission anyway," she continues to comfort herself, trying to shake the strange feeling away from herself. And that's the end of chapter 1.